Alright, it looks like this should be working. See if I can put this volume down right here a little bit lower. My dog's trying to see what's going on. Let me move this thing over. So we got the music going on today. We're going to be upgrading the Dance of the Elements Precon, the Ashling Precon. I think we're going to get into a habit of live streaming a lot more. I've been collecting a lot of cards recently so that we can get on stream and build decks and in cahoots with the deck list requests and the video requests that we've been getting on Patreon as well. So just to get on live stream a bit more, and I think live streaming on Fridays is also going to become a consistent thing as well on the channel, and just having fun, getting a bit more gameplay, getting more content on the channel a lot more frequently. I think because we're going to be streaming a lot more, I think we need to start to create kind of like what's the word I want to say? Like a consistent, what's the word I want to say? Almost like rituals in a sense. So first thing we're gonna do, starting every stream, especially when we do stuff like this, is we got to give thanks to God. So I want to thank God for allowing all of us to be here today, and I want to thank God for all of my subscribers, and I pray for the health of all of my subscribers' families, and I pray that they draw well in all of their next games of Commander. And even for those who have no belief in God, I pray that everyone has an amazing life and that they receive everything that they ask and wish for, and that if anybody is in need, that may all their needs be relieved so that they can experience the best part of life. And I want to thank everyone for being here and allowing me to have this YouTube channel, allowing me to have the cards to do the things for the people, because I've been getting a lot of requests for this video. So I just want to be extremely appreciative and thank you. And now we can stream. Okay, so I picked up the Precon, haven't opened it yet. Amen. Yes. So one second, mining. I think I want the text to stay over here constantly, so let me just make sure that the chat box is set to always exist. Hide messages after, so it should always show actually. All right, that's fine. Okay, so I picked up this Precon, haven't opened it yet. Trying to only keep 3 active decks at a time. Dang, good for you, bro. I've definitely I have a lot more than 3 active decks. This will be good when it's time to break it out. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, we're gonna see how this goes. I got a bunch of cards here, like a lot, maybe too many cards here to see how we're gonna take this deck and what we're gonna end up doing when we build it, and what would be the best. But what I'm imagining inside this deck is like, I'm asking myself, like, how do we take advantage of, like, how do we gain control over the game? Because it's one thing for us to be able to I think, like, it's one thing for us to be able to play the deck, but you know, I think decks perform best when we have like a modicum of control with the deck. So like, how do we prevent our opponents from, not necessarily from playing, but how do we impose our will on our opponents? And I think that's what's going to make this deck if we end up building like a bracket 2 deck, like, it'll be able to compete like up to bracket 4. That's kind of what we're aiming to do over here. So, and I think we do that by picking the right elementals. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to find the elementals that I think are gonna help us to do that. Let's just do this. And I think for me, that's always gonna be based on removal, and it's always gonna be based on card draw. And I think because we're playing elementals, it's also we're gonna have the opportunity for that to be discard as well. So I really want this elemental deck to just feel like people are constantly discarding cards. We're destroying their creatures, and at the same time we're drawing cards to just keep the advantage going. For those who are not aware, the commander of this deck is Ashling Limitless. Ashling reads elemental spells you cast from your hand have evoke 4. Whenever you sacrifice a non-token elemental, create a token that's a copy of it. That token gains haste until the end of turn. At the beginning of your next end step, sacrifice it unless you pay all colors of mana. Guys, it's been so cold over here in Jersey that our pipes got frozen, but I think the pipes just turned back on, so just give me a second. Alright, good. Oh, alright, my bad. Okay. That's positive. Alright, so yeah, so essentially when we cast our elementals, they get sacrificed, and then we get their abilities multiple times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at all the elementals that we have, and I'm going to separate them into piles. And we're going to separate them into piles that allow us to basically see what they do. So we're going to call removal. We'll say card draw. We'll go offensive pieces. And then we'll delineate from that point on. Okay, so maybe I'll zoom this in while we do this. So Champion of the Path deals damage, so we're going to call this removal. Deals damage as elementals enter. This is an auto include, I think. Rotten Mouth Viper forces people to sacrifice permanents and discard cards. We'll call that removal. When this creature enters, if you cast a return on non-elemental hand to their hands, that's removal. All creatures have haste. We're gonna say that this is offensive, so we'll leave this over here. Bloodline Binding is not an elemental. Gravesifter, each player chooses a creature type and returns any number of cards from his or her graveyard to his or her hand. We'll call this card advantage, so this is kind of like card draw. Bramble Sovereign is not a card we want to talk about right now. Blade of Selves, not going to talk about. Interdisciplinary Mascot's going to draw us cards, so we'll leave that there. Null Drifter is Annihilator 1. It also draws us cards. This is kind of like both. This is good. Let's go West Coast. A good Precon zombie deck. I don't know. I'll tell you guys what I think. If anybody in the chat wants to add to this, you totally can. Feel free. I think a good zombie. Are you, well, West Coast, are you like a beginner to Magic the Gathering, or are you like, you've been playing for a long time? I feel like that's a question that I would ask. So you're a beginner so how many games of Commander have you played before? So we go Tyrant of Discords, removal. Cavalier Flame draws cards. I played about 4 games. Okay, so then yeah, people would say that you're relatively new. Let me just Let me. Yeah, I think like agreed. Fresh tin, what's good, dude? Aether Drift and Sultai Arisen is an amazing one. You know what I would recommend, and it's relatively cheap. You know the thing about zombies is zombies are just generically good, which is pretty cool. Um, but I think they released these precons that are starter precons. I don't know how long ago they released those decks. They were like $20. And they had Gisa and Geralf as the commanders of the deck, and as the commander of the deck. They're either the commanders or like we're in deck. Happy Sunday to you too, bro. But like to me, those cards. What was I gonna say? Let me lower the music. Yeah, to me, that deck is zombies is a tribe that's always just generically going to be good. So to me, it's like it's like $20. It gives you a lot of the zombies that you're gonna need in a zombie deck, and then you can kind of just build out from there. Begisa and Geralf, it's a really powerful commander combination in my experience, and I would totally play that deck. So you're gonna look for or if you want something that's gonna be a lot more powerful, like I think Mining recommended earlier. There's one from you can look up Zombie Aether Drift. I'll type Aether Drift in the chat so you see how it's spelled. You type this in on Google, and you'll find exactly Eternal Might. Yeah, that precon. That deck is kind of insane. It's pretty good. I don't know if we're gonna need that card. This one deals 3 damage to any target. This one creates tokens and buffs. This card is not something that we need. This card exiles. This draws me. This draws. This is removal. Okay. So we got our piles here so far. Let me go ahead and make Ashling a little bit smaller. Ashaton. Yeah, Hashatan is just disgusting. I feel like the value, if you're looking for like how do I get the most out of my money, I feel like the Eternal Might precon is really good just because it's what's the word? You just get a lot for your money, really. It's just a really amazing card. Hashaton's really good. Why is this card like... Okay. Gigantha's gonna stay over there. Jubilation, buffs, so we'll put this here. Yeah, Hashaton is just one of those decks that just really good. We'll call this removal, actually. It's just card draw. Maelstrom Wanderer, we'll say, is a combo piece. We'll say this is more offensive. The Undead Augur. Are those cards inside the deck? Muldrotha, I don't feel like playing that in this deck. Definitely not playing that. Impulsivity is probably a card we're not going to be playing, but I'll leave this here. Smoke Braider, that cares about the creatures. This is auto include. I'm just going to leave this over here. That's the list here. That... Okay. Soul Trader, Yuheni. That's the Gisa that sacrifices zombies to create sacrifices creatures to create zombies. Removal, ramp, or auto including chromatic lantern. Okay, Primal Beyond. I've never seen that. Yarok is definitely an auto include in this deck. It's all the mono black part of the cards, yeah. Yeah, I feel like zombies are just a tribe where like you just play the deck and then you just play into infinite combos you didn't even know you put inside the deck and you just end up winning out of nowhere. I feel like that's the way zombies just play. This endurance I think is cool that it has flash, but like I just don't know if that's gonna be a card that's really gonna help us to do anything. Shimmer creep can't be. This deals damage, we gain life. We'll call that offensive. Subterfuge deals damage, draw cards, so we'll put that here. Yeah, it definitely like it gets out of hand like really fast. It's a really good deck. Shriekmaw. Well, what's your budget? What's your budget? How much do you want to spend? Ascendant's Fury. Omnath enters, deals damage equal to the number of elementals you control. We'll count that as removal. When this enters, destroy target creature and opponent controls. Yep. Ingot Chewer, I'm gonna put to the side because I know I'm not playing that card. Pain of Progress will keep. Board of Notions. I mean, we'll call that card advantage. Umbra? What do you mean Umbra? Spend up to $100 with upgrades. I mean, check oh yeah, that is a good card. I wish YouTube allowed us to do the exclamation point card in chat. That would be nice. Realm Walker, I'm not sure if that's gonna be kind of slow. I like this card. Soul Ring, Titan of Industry removal, Belonging, creates tokens. Cavalier of Thorns puts a land into our hand, so card advantage. Foundation Breaker, obviously this is gonna go card advantage. Abundant Growth, Massive Mysteries is damage. Okay. That's a good question, Mining. All right. So right now we have 2 creatures that ramp, a Chromatic Lantern, and Yarok. I think Maelstrom Wanderer is really nice because it says Cascade, and I feel like I want elementals that I play that behave like they were commanders, and I feel like generally speaking these elementals cost a lot of mana. If I have enough mana to play Maelstrom Wanderer, I should have enough mana to get these other creatures in the battlefield. So to me it's like, how do I Thank you for subscribing. I think somebody subscribed. Heard the subscribing sound. So like how I feel like Maelstrom Wander is gonna be good because our creatures cost a lot of mana. So I think we're gonna keep Maelstrom. I think if I look at Omnath, Locus of All, it says unspent mana. If you lose it, it becomes black instead. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card if it has 3 or more colored mana symbols and its cost. The thing is, like, how many cards do I have inside the deck that are 3 or more colors? Thank you for subscribing. I heard the subscribing sound again. I just don't know how many cards I have in the deck that are 3 colors in mana symbols, so I just don't know like how often this is even gonna trigger. It's a cool looking card, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think that this is gonna work too well. Yeah, West Coast, he's talking to you, bro. Suarez, he is talking to you. Suarez, you know that I'm a Suarez too? That's kind of crazy. All right. So we're gonna keep these cards, and then Massive Mysteries I think we have to keep as well because Massive Mysteries is just so good. And these are all from the Precon, so automatically included. Now, I think that we have the cards over here that are offensive plays, and I feel like when we're playing cards that are more offensive, I only need a couple of these to help to close out a game. Like Rumbleweed, like watch. Rumbleweed will end the game. When Rumbleweed enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +3/+3, gain trample until the end of turn. Yeah, that's just gonna like for 4 mana instead of playing 11. Yeah, that sounds that's kind of ridiculous actually. So Rumbleweed we're keeping. Jubilation kind of does the same thing. We're keeping. This creates 3 tokens. I just don't know how much I care about creating 3 tokens inside this deck. Although it would like put a ton of blockers in play. I just don't know how important that's really gonna be. Like Avengers Zendikar is kind of the same thing. Whereas like if I look at Roaming Throne, this card is just insane inside this deck. So I think Roaming Throne we keep. Lava Leaper gives all our creatures haste. But it also says whenever a player taps a basic land for a mana, that player adds 1 mana of any type it produced. And I just don't know if we definitely don't have a lot of basic lands inside this deck, so that might benefit our opponents more than it benefits us. So I want these cards to be like GG cards, and looking at this, I just don't know how many of these cards are actually gonna win us the game here. If red was spent to cast, the creatures you control get +1/+1 gain haste until the end of turn. I mean, yeah, and then if this happens twice, yeah, so this kind of acts like the Jubilation, so I think we keep the Catharsis. And then Shimmer Creep, I think works really well if we have a ton of creatures in play. Or no, X is the number of color among permanents I control, so this is always going to be 5. Ooh, this is devastating. Yeah, I think we keep that. I just think looking at the other, like Avengers Zendikar to me feels kind of, like it'll really help to build the board, but if I build this correctly, I shouldn't have to. And it makes plant tokens, which are not elementals, which I'm not sure if that really synergizes with what we're doing. Belonging would be good. I don't know. I'll keep these on the side, and then if we need more creatures, I'll add them to the deck later, but for now I have to unsleeve them and take them out of the deck. Because I just don't think I'm going to really need them. If I'm doing this correctly. Okay, so Jubilation we keep. Roaming Throne I need to find a sleeve for. I think that I can pay 2 mana. At turn 3, like, I really don't... I mean, I can put an Elemental... I don't know, I feel like I don't want this card in the deck. This is... Roaming Throne is so much more power than that card. I think the Surge Precon is pretty good. Oh my god, you're right. The Caesar, yeah, if you get the Fallout Precon with Caesar in it, that deck is like... I played against that deck the other day. It's borderline unfair how good that deck is. And what's crazy, I think the craziest part about that deck is that nobody talks about how it's a deck that kind of sits at the table and just plays, and you gain advantage quietly until you just win. It's really good. This. At Best Buy has cheap decks. Okay, so how many creatures do we have so far? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm thinking we want like 35 to 40 creatures, and we already have 10. So Foundation Breaker enters, destroys target artifact or enchantment. We keep. Titan of Industry, I know we keep. Bane of Progress, we keep. Lamentation destroys a creature, we keep. Whenever land enters, put a +1/+1 counter. Yeah, this draws and acts like a removal, so Omnath is going to be amazing. Shriekmaw, we keep. Fury, we keep. You know, it's going to be difficult for me to say that we don't keep every single one of these cards. I think we literally keep all of these cards. This is just straight removal. So if I add all these cards, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We'll be at 19. Oh no, we'll be at 29. Okay, so then maybe... Ooh. But this is how I want the deck to play. I want it to feel like that. Where am I gonna get these sleeves from, though? Take out Bane of Progress? You think? Because I feel like what I'm imagining with Bane of Progress... Like, I want the deck to be really creature heavy. So, but I look at Bane of Progress like turn 1, I get a mana, because I gotta convert the mana ramp in here to just straight creature mana ramp, I think, on turn 1. And then being like turn 1, mana ramp, turn 2, our commander, turn 3. I can evoke for 4. I should have 4 mana on turn 3. And then like Bane of Progress, turn 3. And then just remove everyone's artifacts. And then... But then again, I see your point. We'll take out Bane of Progress for now. Because it goes really good in a lot of my other decks. And I wouldn't mind not having it there. But I feel like... it's gonna end up being a really good card. So we'll take that out. I need Champion of the Path. Greater Good, Ashnod's Altar, Heartless Summoning. I think it would be basically late game. It would be just like a dead card in our hand. The way I imagine this deck playing, it just feeling like a massive amount of just. I want it to feel really taxing to play against. So we're gonna add Gigantha automatically because this lets us keep our creatures. I think Selvala, Realm Walker, we're gonna let go. Selvala, I'm gonna put in another deck. Distant Melody, while I could keep, I'd rather this just be an elemental rather than cast a sorcery to draw cards. I'd rather swap that out for a creature. At 4 mana especially. Kindred Summons, we're gonna let go. Abundant Growth is excellent at 1 mana. Cultivate, I think we're gonna let go. So I'm gonna put that right there. The Springleaf Parade, I don't want. Vernal Sovereign, I don't want. We're gonna go with this card. This song, I mean. Guys, I'm telling you right now, at some point, YouTube is gonna send me like a warning that I'm playing music. And it's gonna warn me that it's gonna shut down the stream. And then if the stream gets shut down, it's gonna go down, and then I'm just gonna start it up again. This is what I do when I'm building decks, so I'm just taking what I do on my own and putting it over here, so I'm not gonna. They can bring me down, but they can't hold me down, guys. I'll just restart it up again. This Spectacle we don't need. Fertile Ground taps. I need 2 mana to cast that, so I don't want to play that. Garruk's Uprising, we could. I'm going to keep that just because it's going to be insane. Although, I don't know how many creatures we have that are power 4 or greater. Return of the Wild Speaker, I don't want to play. I feel like Omnath, I don't want to play because I don't want to focus on that. Kodama's Reach. Both Prince of the Stag, we're not playing. Muldrotha. We're definitely keeping Fabro Elder. Cream of the Crop, I don't want. I wouldn't recommend the elementals do anything. The new ones, I mean, to me, it's just the utility of it, because I could either, it's still a 6/5 creature that I could get into play that's gonna draw me a card, even if it doesn't double. I just like the utility of being like, if I use a land, like think about it, like I could play Distant Melody for 4 mana to choose a creature, draw cards. Or I could evoke this with 2 lands that fulfill both colors. And I can still exile something and draw cards. So to me it's like for 2 mana. And I can't counter it because it's just a, I don't know if you can counter it. I think evoke is activating an ability. Or casting. Can you counter somebody evoking a creature? That's a question. But I just like the utility of it. Yeah, I mean, like, I just don't care so much about winning. So, like, I'm not too concerned with, like, what is the most optimal thing. I just want to have fun. That's just really, like, my disposition. So, like, I'd rather be, like, emptiness and then make everyone laugh than being, like, Cyclonic Rift and then just win the game, you know? There's always going to be cards that are going to be good. Or better, I think. But to me, it's like, it's just the fun of the game, you know? Yeah. But I think if your goal is to create the most optimal thing, yeah, I mean, definitely focus on playing the, like, I'm playing a Morn Welk, guys. I'm playing Morn Welk. You know, target player discards 2 cards. You know, it's just... But I respect it. Aether Snipe is devastating. Tyrant of Discord. What is that? Return of the Wild Speaker. So, like, my goal is to just really make this feel like I'm drowning people in elementals, you know? But, Alexander, like, please keep making recommendations and suggestions, you know? It just, there's gonna be people watching this stream now, and then people watching the stream in the future, and they should be listening to you if their goal is to make something powerful, you know? But it's like, let's see what happens. 1, 2, I should have 19 creatures right now. 27. 27? Okay. That's not bad. Emptiness. I just don't know how good this card is. While it's cool, I could put 3 -1/-1 counters on a creature. I think I'm gonna leave that one out. And then these are all the elementals that draw us card. Yeah, the Tyrant is devastating. I've also seen the Tyrant do nothing. Go Eclipse, Flamekin, Green Warden will keep. Horde of Notions, I think we'll keep. Slither Muse, keep. Endurance is gonna go. Impulsivity is gonna go. Muldrifter, we keep. And then I think we just add these 5 cards right here. Okay, so we're gonna throw that pile right there. Guys, I'm gonna end up taking the deck list when it's finished and uploading the deck list, but I keep all the deck lists inside the Patreon for free. Okay, so if you want to see the deck list, it's gonna be in the Patreon. The link will be in the description, and it's just a free membership. And then every deck list that I upload on the channel from now on is just gonna be over there, just because that's what my YouTube coaches are telling me I should be doing, and they're upset that I haven't done that. So I'm just gonna do that to follow directions. Okay, so we got a lot of creatures. Shroud. Oh, I think I know what Shroud stuff. I think I have that card actually somewhere. That's that white black creature. Okay, let me count how many creatures, because we're keeping these. How many creatures do we have in the deck now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, 38, 39, 40, 41 creatures. Devastating. Alright, so now that we pretty much have the creatures situated, we're gonna start adding the rest of the cards inside the deck and going from there. Alright, and I think these are other cards over here that we took out. Alright, let me see something. Gonna add that. And then I think these are cards that I wanted to add. Okay. So we're still kind of going with the removal here. Kindred Dominance, I feel like would be a GG card for those who don't know Kindred Dominance. choose a creature type, destroy all creatures that are of the chosen type. So basically, it's a one-sided board wipe. And then parallel lives to create double tokens. Kindred Discovery is gonna draw us a ton of cards. Chronicle of Victory. This Eardo, I don't know if this is really gonna help us inside this deck. It is a cool card, but I just don't know if that's really gonna help it. Leave that on the side. Moon Shadows, a 7/7 with Menace. I don't know, I feel like we don't play that in this deck. Bloom Tender, we're definitely playing. Force of Vigor, I think we have to play. Up the Beanstalk, I think we play. Valkyrie's Call helps us to keep the creatures that we sacrifice. Reflections is amazing. Teamer Battlecrier helps us pay less for our creatures, but I just don't know if if that matters. Blade of Selves is gonna be insane. Bramble Sovereign helps us to create token copies of creatures, and this is a card that I don't know where that came from. It's good, but I'll leave that over there. You know, I guess it depends on how much you value spending that 4 mana, you know, because then you can get to a point where you're just continuously over and over again, just kind of playing cards over and over again with the evoke. And yeah, I suppose we keep that. So I'm gonna leave these cards over here. Haunting Voyage, I think, which basically just takes all the elementals we have in our graveyard and puts them back on the battlefield. So I think we play that. There should be a lot. Bloodline Bidding does the same thing. Blasphemous Act is great. Let's see something. Kindred Summons is gonna go. Savala can go. Realmwalker can go. I think, oh my god, Ingot Chewer is gone. Descendant's Fury, I'd rather just have something trigger when it enters the battlefield. I think the problem with this deck, everybody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this deck's weakness is going to be cards that prevent abilities, that prevent ETBs. I think if you play that against this deck, the deck folds immediately. And to me, a lot of those cards are Moving bracket too. I mean, it would be fun to chain the things over and over again. So it would be good. I just don't think I want to add what's the word? I could go the route where we're playing yeah. So then I think ramp is gonna be something that's because I feel like if we're constantly adding cards that reduce the mana value, I think if the commander's in play, you really benefit from that. But the moment your commander keeps getting removed, yeah, your creature's gonna cost less, which is always, I think, even if you're not evoking, is gonna be beneficial. So maybe I'll take that back. Actually, I feel like it's still good. But you know, this is the rough draft, right? The Bloom Tender I really want to put in the deck. What is that? second. Commander tax. Oh yeah, that too. I didn't even think about that. So maybe that's always the route. So maybe instead of ramping per se, because there's so many creatures, we count the reducing. Thank you for subscribing. I heard that sound. I mean, somebody subscribed. I also can't. Thank you for subscribing. I heard the sound. You know, I don't know why. And thank you for liking the video. I see you guys are liking the video. Oh my god, we have 20 people in the stream right now. This is kind of insane. 1 mana ramp and cost reducers. So I think what's gonna end up happening is let's get all these cards in the deck. And then what we're gonna end up doing is just looking through the cards I have here and seeing if I can find things that fulfill that that role. And then we can just do what we can. Oh my god, I think I'm gonna sneeze. I sneezed. So we may end up taking a little detour to grab all that stuff. Oof, Kindred Discovery is going to be insane inside this deck. Can't grab the card. You know, I feel like I have so much removal. I don't think I need the Kindred Dominance, although it's a good card. I don't know how much I need it. The Blade of Selves too, like I don't know how much I'm gonna need that. I feel like I have enough things that are just gonna go off. I'd rather have like other utility. The Blasphemous Act I can put inside my Kratos deck, so I'll put that over there. And then all of this. Oh my god, there's just so many elementals. This is gonna be insane. Damn, Alex, you're totally right. Wow. Thank you for liking the video, guys. I see that. I wish this would let me put a notification for people that like the video. I feel like that's so important, and they don't give you the ability to do that. You know what I mean? Especially for YouTube. For Twitch, I get it. Like, there's no liking streams, but like, you know what I mean? Let me see right now, guys, if I can. There should be a thing that if you, where is it? All widgets. Alert box. Alert box. And then I go to YouTube. Then I go to subscribers. 1 second, guys. I'm gonna try to make this stream a little bit cooler. So let me go ahead and go like this. If I go browser and then I put subs, I can go like this, and then, oh, don't worry about it, I'm editing. I hit Control V. Okay, that. So now when people subscribe, let me just order this to the center of the stream. Center to screen. So now it'll pop, your name will pop up over there when you subscribe. So just unsubscribe and then resubscribe again. I'm just kidding. Then your name will pop up. Don't unsubscribe. I have an Ashling deck to test in my LGS, and Shimmer Creep is really good. Yeah, that's why I definitely kept the Shimmer Creep inside the deck. I feel like it would be insane. Let me just grab all the lands and put them to the side. But I feel like I really want this deck to be super active. Guys, how much value do you think there is in keeping these cards that tap for 5 colors of mana, really? Tell me. Thank you. Whoa, everybody. No value. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, thank you for subscribing. I see that. It does tap for 5, but I think I can only... That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I look at that paying the 5 colors of mana and then keeping the creature as like... I just want them to be sacrificed anyway. So I'm thinking like the Bloom Tender. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Bloom Tender at 2 mana. Look. I mean, Faber. Like, do we think doing this that thing at mana value? Look, this does it with 3 mana. This does the same thing technically with 2 mana. And this does it guaranteed at 5. You know, like how valuable do we perceive these? Because I could also I could swap these 3 out for cards that reduce the cost. Thank you for liking the video. I see that. That reduce the cost of, you know what I mean? I could remove these to find cards that just reduce the cost of elementals in general. And then that way I can just keep playing more. You know what I mean? That's just my thought process. Is what I'm thinking. And then, but if I do that, I could grab those 3, 4, and then maybe... Oh my god, guys. We're gonna have to go back here. I think remove some elementals because we may need some more cards inside this deck. Unless I have 50 lands over here. Let me count how many lands. What's good, Red? It has been a minute. What's good, man? Thanks for being a member, bro. So, like, what I can do here is I'm gonna count the amount of lands. I usually play 36 lands inside of my deck. So if there's more than 36, I'm probably just gonna take some lands out. Especially the tap lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 16, 17, 18, 19, 22, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So, okay. So we get 40 cards out of here. Which lands do we take out, though? I think that's the question. We can choose... So we got to take out 4 lands. Do we just take out basics? The thriving lands? So the thriving isle. You're saying take out the thriving isle, thriving moor, the thriving grove, and the thriving bluff, and the thriving heath, and the thriving LeBron James. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, we only need to take out 4, so I'm gonna leave one of these inside here. We're gonna keep the bluff just because our commander is red, and then we're gonna take these cards out of the deck. So I'm gonna leave this here, and now I need cards that put in the pain lands. Yeah, I mean, the only artifact I want to keep is Soul Ring. Put the basics in. Nothing but basics inside a 5-color commander deck. Let's see if I have cards that oh my god. That reduce mana value. Just so you know, guys, like a lot. There's let's not listen to Jay-Z right now, considering everything that's going on in reality. I'm gonna play some salsa, guys, and then we'll listen to System of a Down after the salsa. Let's find a song over here. Nah, maybe not that one. I don't want to listen to that one. Maybe listen to System of a Down right now, actually. Yeah, that works for me. I just know the moment I play Metallica, YouTube's gonna send me a notification. They're gonna be like, what the hell? Like, if you don't remove that song right now, we're gonna delete your stream. That's what they do. Cumbia? I could play Cumbia. What's up, Nyrus? Okay. So we're looking for cards that reduce the cost of our creatures. And I was saying a lot of these cards are proxies, guys, just so you know. So like if you gotta think, thanks to printingproxies.com. So just, these cards are fake. A lot of them are fake. Like literally, look at this. Not for sale. So you guys know. It's how I keep this YouTube channel alive. That, and also keep it alive from each channel member is about 99 cents. I think YouTube takes 50 cents, so they charge $1.50 for the membership. But it's $1 that I get, and then the $1 pays literally for this card, because this is 75 cents to print this proxy. And then I can make videos like this for you guys. So that's the deal. So we're still looking for cards that reduce the cost of our creatures. Excuse me. Yeah, I think when you have a YouTube channel, you just kind of... The people at printingproxies.com sent me a bunch of proxies the one time. And what's good, Gunman? What's up, dude? But yeah, they sent me cards for free, and they're good quality, and they're nice people, so I'm appreciative. Thank you, Nyrus, for becoming a member, bro. I appreciate that, dude. So I think that if I look at this, I'm not finding any cards that reduce cost, guys. Harold's Horn? Harold's Horn? Thank you for liking the video. Eh? What do you guys think? It's only reduced by 1, but it still does the thing. Is this worth it? Cool, man. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you, man. So I think Harold's Horn. Yeah, Nyrus, in all seriousness, when people sign up, bro, like I just take that money and just put it directly back into the channel. But like I can't really keep up with the oh yeah, Urza's Incubator is always, if I can find a Urza's Incubator, I'll throw it in here. I'll tell you what. But then like I could go to printing proxies and then just print proxies of Urza's Incubator, and then I'll have the copy of the card. But like it really helps me just support this. So we're gonna put the Herald's Horn there for now, but we'll see. This is we are at the mercy of the binder. Thank you for liking the video. I see that. Guys, I mentioned salsa, and then we had like 20 something people in the stream, and then it dropped to 16. They're like, oh no, not that. That's funny. Let's go Daddy Yankee after this. No, be nice. It's not that they don't have taste. Maybe I'm the one with bad taste. Urza's Incubator. 1. Hey, we got it. And keep in mind, not for sale. This is a proxy. So I'm not made out of money, guys. I'm made out of flesh and blood. And rice and beans because I'm Puerto Rican. I know I should have a copy of the one card that what am I thinking about? We should have the thing that reduced cost by 2, the black card that gives -1/-1 or something. I know I have that card somewhere. I just don't know if it's inside this binder. No, it's not inside this binder. Heartless Summoning, yeah. Alright. So we're gonna go like this. We're gonna keep Abundant Growth, we'll keep Soul Ring, Garrick's Uprising will keep. I kind of don't want to have to cast Path to Exile, although I should keep that, but whatever. We're gonna throw the Herald's Horn. Where am I gonna find this card? I think what... One second, guys. Let me move this thing over here. Alright. Dude, I need this thing to reach a bit more. Alright, we're looking for cost reducers and what else? Just cost reducers, basically. Cost reducers and then creatures that create mana at 1 mana. So this is gonna be a search and a half. Especially if the cards are upside down. See. Assault Monolith. It's gonna be black. I mean, the chance that we find that in here like this. But like, I know I have that card. Brine Elemental. Oh no, that's not gonna work. Okay. I mean, if this ends up taking a long time, I think that what we're gonna do is just stick with what we got, and then after the fact, I can just take all the time I need to look for it, so that we're not spending so much time looking for the card. But I know I have one. What is that? Fear of Burning Alive? Is that a... No, that's not a elemental. It's a nightmare. What is that thing? Is that an elemental? Dusk Mangler, is that an elemental? No, it's not an elemental. Yo, I was playing Commander over the on Friday. I was playing my Infect deck. It's literally on stream. There's a video of it. And man, this guy was playing clerics, one of my friends, and he just was able to tap his creatures to force me to pay mana, to kind of like propaganda where I had to pay mana to attack. And he just locked me out of the game, and I was just like 1 or 2 turns away. 2 turns away from winning, and I ended up losing. How do I feel about people wanting Ristic Study banned? You know, I think... You want to know what I think? You really want to know? First of all, I think what I think doesn't matter. I'm going to preface what I'm about to say by saying that. I think who cares what I think? First of all, I think my opinion is just as valid as it is invalid. So I think like, but from my perspective, when I think about banning cards just in general, I think that my play group plays different, and I think I'm very blessed with my play group because my friends are, you know, I can be free from feeling like I'm in an arms race playing the game. Or in other words, like I don't, we're not constantly trying to make our decks stronger to win games. Like we don't, once we build our decks, we'll add a couple, and I think most play groups are like this, where you know, we're not really trying to go after each other and win games. We don't care that much. But I think how do I say this? Like how do I say this? Like we just don't care about winning so much. And I think like because of that, when we see when I hear people talking about cards like Ristic Study getting banned, to me it's like if a card was really a problem in my friend's playgroup and they really didn't like it, we would be like, we could just tell them to like stop playing the card, or we just wouldn't care. You know, like we would just deal with it. Like if we would add more enchantment removal to our deck so that we could just destroy it when we needed to, you know? So to me, it's like we don't, not like a problem, but I could see how when people go to these tournaments and they're playing CEDH, I could see how that card could be really annoying in that setting, and how it could warp the game with card advantage, because people, you know, because technically, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you pay the 1, then they don't draw a card. And all it really is all the card really is basically just a card that just says pay 1 more mana for your cards. So that means that there's going to be some cards that you can't play. So it's not like a situation where, you know, you can't respond to it. You just pay the 1. And then the card is basically 3 mana to make spells cost 1 more than they were before, which can harm you because now you don't have enough mana to play spells if you want to avoid it. But to me, it's like, it's not like, for example, like there's a card, Iona the Shield of Emeria. I think this card is so insane that I'm gonna find a copy of it, and I'm gonna put it on the screen over here so you guys see. Let's go to Scryfall. Scryfall, Iona. Where is she? I gotta type in shield. There's so many cards with Iona in it. There it is. Like, to me, this card, I understand why this card is banned. Look at this. Look how big that is. Just read that card for a second. Like, to me, that card, I understand why that's banned. You know, even though it's 9 mana, choose a color. Your opponents can't cast spells of the chosen color. So in other words, if you're somebody just can't play the game anymore. If that's the case, which is generally not the case, but like to me, there's no way I can if I'm in the wrong colors, I can't play around that. I pretty much lose. And it's not like I lose in a way where it's like the game is over. It's that I lose because I'm just gonna give up. Like I'm just gonna fold to this, or scoop to that. You know? But to me, Ristic Study is not a card that makes me feel like Iona does. You know? So to me, I just don't think that it should be banned. To me, it's just not. Like, yeah, it's a great card, and yeah, I've lost games to it. And yeah, it should cost like 5 mana, maybe not 3 mana. Maybe it should cost more mana to play. But like, I don't know, I just feel like I look at the copies of Ristic Study that I do own, and now I'm like, man, like the $30 I spent on this is just gone because there's a really small group of people who are playing in a competitive scene and are having problems with this, and it's affecting everybody else because of this small group of people. And it's not only like affecting us, it's affecting us in a way where we're losing money technically. You know, if you own real copies of that card, you know, just because people are upset about it, you know, they're gonna remove it. And it's like, to me, it's like, I don't know, I just disagree with the notion of banning cards, you know. I think that what would be best, like if I was the one who managed all of this stuff, I would just create an opportunity for that card to exist. You know, like we have game changers, create another set, create a different tier that instead of having game changers, like if I played Destiny, I don't know if you guys played Destiny before. Destiny, like you know, you go out in the world, you find weapons and loot, and then you equip them to your character, and they get strong. And some weapons are legendary, which means they show up as purple. Some items are rare, which means they're blue. Some items are common, which means they're like, or like uncommon, which means they'll be green. So it's kind of like mythic, rare, uncommon, and magic. But like if we have game changers, and we're gonna say game changers are like legendary cards, if we're calling them tiers, like what happens if they create a separate tier beyond this, and it's like these are game changers, and then these are, you know, the gods. These cards over here are like the exotics. Like these are the super intense cards, and the exotics or the god cards, you can't play god cards in bracket 1, 2, or 3. You're only allowed one god card in bracket 4, and then in bracket 5 it's unlimited. You know, just to, I don't know, just to give people options so they can customize the way they play instead of destroying people's like, I don't know, it deletes, it makes some people have fun, and then it also equally hurts people as well. So we got a comment over here I'm gonna read in a second. Let me just find this. Complaining about paying the one means that the Grand Arbiter and every other card that makes you pay more should be banned. Exactly. But I also think it's like Grand Arbiter like costs 2 separate colors, costs 4 mana to play, so there's a bit of restriction in that. That I think that the problem with Ristic Study is that it's just very intensely, it's just extremely competitively created, if that makes sense. Like for only one color, so every blue deck can run this, and every blue deck can play this on turn 3. And like I just think that's a failure of I mean, they never knew that Commander was going to exist back then, so it seemed fair. At one point in history, it seemed like a fair card. But it just, when you think about how that scales for what Magic is now, it's like, bro, that card is kind of, it's a powerful card. Nobody's going to say Ristic Study is not powerful. But to me, it's just like, come on, man. Like, just because some people are upset by it doesn't mean everybody has to be. Let me put this cards away, guys. Give me a second. I just think there's so many ways you can go about that. And I just feel like banning things is just such a... Me, it's just a... deal with things. Don't get me wrong, like when people play Ristic Study, like, you know, I see people roll their eyes and doing this, and like, look, I could do that too, if I want to, but like, I'm just against. You know, the people that are sweating right now are the guys that have 50 copies of Ristic Study. And then it gets banned, and then it's a $5 card or $4 card, and they lose $35 from each copy of the card that they have. And it's not like we don't go into this, but I just think about the store owner, and like, you have to be really careful with that, man. To me, that's important. I needed that card for a deck. I'm gonna leave that over there. Guys, I think I'm gonna stop looking for this card. There's just so many cards over here that I would have to look through, and I'm just gonna deal with it because I can't. Now I'm going through green decks. I'll find the copy of Heartless Summoning. We'll just use the cards that we have right here for now, and then go from there. I think what we're gonna do is just throw in, we'll keep these. This is definitely gonna go, this has to go, this has to go. Yeah, all these cards have to go. So then we're just gonna swap these out, and then we'll go from there. That'll go there. We're gonna go like... I'm surprised YouTube's not sending me notifications. I'm actually happy about it. Okay. So we're taking out this. Guys, I'm gonna re-add the Cultivates, the Fertile Ground, the Kodama's Reach. Let's go ahead and take that out. Bloom Tender is 2 mana. I think we're just gonna keep that. Then the 3 lands. You know, we're just gonna keep the 3 lands, and then I can. I really just want to play test the deck to see how it works right now. Antonio, what's good, dude? Yeah, exactly. Like, Ristic Study getting banned means much more. Correct me if I'm wrong, Antonio. But basically, what you're saying is like, banning Ristic Study creates a argument that a lot of other cards should be banned based on the way Ristic Study plays and what it is. Because I totally agree about Smothering Tithe. Smothering Tithe is basically, you know, it's not when you're casting spells. I think it's when you're drawing cards, Smothering Tithe. But it just creates, it just opens up a line of thinking that, like, I don't know. It opens up a line of thinking that just feels bad, you know? Like maybe, like I said, like maybe you add Smothering Tithe to a separate tier of game changers that like that we all can be aware of, and then limit that. That way, like you can limit how decks are being constructed without outright just removing the card, you know? I just think that's a bit much. Nice, guys. We got 23 members of this goal, the member goal. I feel like that's so amazing. Look, guys, I'm gonna pause the music because we're gonna play test, and I could use this for YouTube videos. So, what kind of battle music? When we play test, I usually listen to battle music or something. Like, what are we thinking? What are you thinking now? Would we like? I kind of like Darkest Dungeon. I kind of like Pokemon. I'm gonna go Pokemon battle music. I could go like Final Fantasy. Top 50 all best battle music. Alright, how loud is that? The Last Spell soundtrack? Is that a video game? It's gotta be from a video game. I'm gonna look that up. Hold up. Persona? I never heard of The Last Spell, so I'm gonna look that up. Persona would be good too. I just know that the video game music works because technically, if we play that music, they're not gonna. They would have to then remove their games because the games have the music in it, you know. OST. Interesting game. I used to work at GameStop for 10 years, so I've never seen this before. What is this? Oh. Hold up. I put the volume up. Okay, this is kind of creepy. Okay. All right, guys. We got the music going now. Okay. All right, so we're gonna play test this. Let me go ahead and lower this a bit. That came in so hot out of nowhere. Where's the commander? So we have upgraded the deck, changed it a lot actually. The commander for the deck is Ashling Limitless. Ashling reads, whenever we sacrifice a non-token elemental, create a token that's a copy of it. The token gains haste until the end of turn. We can pay 5 mana to keep it. But I think most importantly, elemental spells we cast from our hand have evoke 4. So we're gonna look to take advantage of that during this playtest. Let me continue to shuffle a little bit more, and then we'll go from there. Should be interesting. That song is basically what this deck should feel like. It should feel like very slow in the beginning, methodical, and then out of nowhere, just like once it gets going. I like imagining. What is that? Why is that like? When I build decks, I like imagining in my brain what I want the deck to feel like, and then build the deck and add cards based on that imagination. Like when I built my Dragon deck, I was like, what? I remember the scene in Game of Thrones when Khaleesi was flying through the city with the dragon and they were just destroying the city. I was like, what would it feel like? How could I build a Dragon deck that feels like 10 dragons are flying through a city, destroying a city. Oh, I gotta get real sleeves for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so opening hand. We have Roaming Throne, Jubilation, Swamp, Kindred Discovery, Valkyrie's Call, that copes, and this. So this immediately tells me that we really need to re-edit the deck and add ramp. Because everything costs so much. Let's shuffle it up again. At least if one of those lands tapped for red. That would have been cool. But I'm gonna have to swap out the sleeves because these are clear, and I can see the proxy word in the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we do have that Bloom Tender, so Shimmer Creep, Haunting Voyage, Abundant Countryside. Ooh, I like it. And then Sodden Verger. So I think we're gonna keep this because we have a land that taps for red. And we kind of got to turn one play. Oh, the song is nice. So we're gonna go ahead and where is this? Later. Is my stream deck not plugged in? Guys, let me plug in my stream deck really quickly just so that this is we have technical difficulty right now, so give me a second. Okay, it's plugged in. All right. Where is video capture device? I'm back. Okay, we got this. Stream deck is working, so I can go like that. Oh, but we can't see it. Oh, I gotta turn this on. Let me try that again. No, I gotta put this at the top. And oh wow, it's really just not functioning. There it is. So there we go. All right, we fixed it good. Okay, so now it's our turn. We draw up the beanstalk. Nice. 2 mana. Whenever we cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, we draw a card. Not bad. I think we have to get the Sodden Verger on the battlefield right now because it enters tapped, and then we would just pass. We could then draw into a Rain Slicked Copse, which is another tap land, which feels excellent inside this deck. We can get the Abundant Countryside on the battlefield that taps for colorless right now, or whatever color we want technically, once we get the Bloom Tender on the battlefield turn 2, which can tap for all 5 colors of mana. So we'll then pass after that. Gonna go ahead and draw into a forest. Now the question is, we can play Ashling because next turn we have the 4 mana to start basically removing things, which feels good. So I think what we would do here is 1, 2, 3 Ashling. I think I'm gonna play that tap land right now. just because it doesn't matter. And then we would untap and pray that nobody destroys Ashling. We could draw into Valkyrie's Call. 5 mana spell. Now, I'm going to play this land for turn. So question. Would the Bloom Tender, because Ashling is in play, says for each color among permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. So right now, would this tap for 5 colors of mana because Ashling is in play? Like, would this be a part of Ashling's... a part of her color, or is it just red? That's the question. Because if this taps for 5, that would be amazing. Asking counts. No what? No what? Ashling? So this is just red. I'm assuming when you say no, you're saying that because this is just red now. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. So this taps for 2. So, because it's green and then red. So, which still feels good. It's still a good thing. And personally, because of that, what I would do, which is going to feel great, I would go 1, 2. Ashling's color identity is different from the colors you control. Among permanents? So wait. So tell me how much mana Bloom Tender taps for then. We're gonna get up the beanstalk on the battlefield, by the way. So whenever we cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, we're gonna draw a card. 2, red and green. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So what I can do now is I get up the beanstalk on the battlefield, right? And what I would do in the situation is... I think what I would want to do is just ruin the game. So, like, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I could evoke this Rotten Mouth Viper. Alright, so I'm going to zoom in on this. This is going to cause me to draw a card from up the beanstalk because this costs 6 mana. So I'm going to draw into an island. So that goes to my hand. This is going to enter the battlefield. When it enters, I put a blight counter on it. So it has 1 blight counter or whatever. It says, for each blight counter on this, each opponent loses 4 life unless that player sacrifices an online permanent or discards a card. So people can do that once. This will then get sacrificed. Oh, I'm supposed to draw a card when up the beanstalk enters the battlefield too. When up the beanstalk enter. Oh my god, do I have a lisp? When up the beanstalk enters the battlefield, and whenever you cast a spell. So I draw 2. So I drew into a Kindred Discovery off of the Rotten Mouth Viper. This is gonna leave the battlefield. This will re-enter. And then I'm going to get another blight counter and then trigger that thing again. So each opponent's either going to lose 4 life, discard a card, or sacrifice a permanent. And now this is the token. So this is going to gain haste, and then this is going to attack, and it's going to get another blight counter. So my opponents are either going to choose to lose 4 life, sacrifice a permanent, and then or discard a card. So if they all choose to do that, somebody's going to end up, at minimum, if people just lose life, they're going to lose 12 life. or discard 3 cards, or sacrifice 3 permanents, and then somebody's gonna get hit for 6 if they don't block, which feels amazing. So then that would happen, and then we would pass the turn. This goes into the graveyard. It's doing well already, people. Chat, I think we have a winner. Unclaimed territory. So we're gonna play that just because we can. So maybe considering what we just did, what we could do is look at the battlefield. And what if I want to just force things into people's hands? Do we use this as a setup turn, or do we play around the Haunting Voyage? Decisions. Because this is what I'm thinking. We could have the Valkyries. How much mana? So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Although I wouldn't have the white mana to play that actually, so I can't even cast Valkyrie's Call even if I wanted to. Sunderflock costs 3 less because we own Ashling in play, so this taps for we would have to tap 6 to keep that in play. And Shimmer Creep is a card that I'm not sure if I really want to play right now. I think what we do is, oh, this is a, I think the only thing we can do here is Sunderflock. Like if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm left with 3 mana. And that's not enough mana for me to get the Kindred Discovery in play. But if we get Kindred Discovery in play, this is going to tap for an extra color. So if I went like blue, blue 3, 4, 5, this taps for 3, which is not going to help us with anything in our hand, unfortunately. I think we just cast the Cinderflock without evoking it. So I think what I would do is 1, 2 colors, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we Sunderflock, which is going to return all non-elementals to their owner's hands. So Bloom Tender is going to go to our hand. We're going to draw a card off up the Beanstalk. Ooh, this gives a creature haste. And then now that we've kind of wiped the board, basically, we deal damage with Ashling. Pass. Draw into Foundation Breaker. Oof, man, guys, we are really just ruining the game for people right now. Island. We could now that we've bounced all of the creatures back to our opponent's hands, we could then, oof, this deck is devastating. We could get Flamekid Village, revealing an elemental from our hand so it enters untapped. And then, like, I could evoke this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We're gonna go 5. We're gonna play Kindred Discovery. So whenever we cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, this is a spell with mana value 5 or greater. So we're gonna draw a card. Wow, up the Beanstalk for 2 mana is insane. This card is, get this card. My God, this card is amazing. This just draws us a card automatically every turn, feels like. And then we can go 2. And then obviously choosing elementals with this. And then we can go Foundation Breaker. Does not trigger up the beanstalk, but it does trigger Kindred Discovery, so we'll draw another card. Mountain. When this enters, we're going to destroy an artifact or enchantment. So now we're just removing our opponent's mana ramp, basically. This will leave. This will re-enter, destroying another thing. We'll draw another card, and then we'll go to combat. And then we can attack with Ashling, the Sunderflock, and the Foundation Breaker. We're going to draw 3 more cards. 1, 2, and 3. Cavalier of Thorns. Interesting. We need a Reliquary Tower for this deck. So we can keep the cards in our hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oof. Let's keep the Mountain. We'll keep the Shimmer Creep. We'll keep the Haunting Voyage. 3, 4. I'm gonna say I don't know how much I care about the Cavalier. I kind of want to put the Cavalier into the graveyard. Just because I think we keep the Kodama's Reach because we need white lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 helps us fix our mana. And then we'll go 6. And then, I mean, I guess we'll get rid of the Cavalier. And then let's say somebody, the Foundation Breaker will go away. Somebody, do I have any recursion? I got one in my hand. I got one in my hand, Freshton. We'll pass a turn. Let's just imagine somebody wipes the board. Do I have an exploding? Yeah. So somebody wiped the board. So we'll lose Sunderflock. We'll lose Ashling, but then I'll have Ashling go into the graveyard like a sneaky person. And then we'll untap. We'll draw into a swamp. Which I'm not sure if I... Yeah, I think I actually needed that. Actually... Yeah. Yep. We needed that. So I think what we do here is play the long game. I can go swamp. And then colorless forest. We can play the Kodama's Reach, which is going to put... I need to grab a swamp. Does it exist? That is the question. One more swamp? We can put a swamp into play tapped, and then I'm going to grab a plains. That's going to go to our hand. Excellent. Okay. We'll shuffle that really quickly, put that back. This will go to our hand. We still have all of this mana for this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I want to do is set up. So I think I wish I could play that, but we'll just get the let me see if I could tap this a little bit differently if I kept this here and put the Flamekin Village over there. Yeah, and then I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Cavalier of Thorns. This is going to cost 5 mana, so we're going to draw a card from up the beanstalk, which is just excellent. It is an elemental, so we'll draw another card, which is going to be the Tyrant of Discord. Oh, man. We're going to go to our end step. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in hand. I'm going to discard the Tyrant of Discord. That'll go. We'll pass, and now is when we have the elemental eruption. So this is going to untap. We'll draw for champion. Oh my god, the champion of the path. Peace out, mining. Thanks, dude. I really would like to get Champion of the Path on the battlefield. How much mana do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Excellent. So if I play this Plains or this Mountain, watch. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap 4. We play Champion of the Path now. Champion of the Path says, whenever another elemental you control enters, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. Oh my god. So this will go here. As an additional cost to cast this, behold an elemental and exile it. I will behold, unfortunately, Shimmer Creep. So this is going to get exiled. So this will leave this Shimmer Creep underneath the champion. So this entered. So now what we can do is look at our lands. I can tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana because we got the 2 black because of the other card. And then what I can do is Haunting Voyage. So choose a creature type, elemental, return 2 creature card. Oh no. Oh, we needed to foretell this to get all of our creatures. I read this card wrong. Alright, so that changes things. So now we have to wait an entire turn. But how can we make the best of this? I don't think we can. Well, that stinks. I can't do anything with anything in my graveyard. We're gonna have to wait an entire turn here. We're basically gonna waste the turn. I mean, I could go to behold or foretell this Haunting Voyage, and then that's also what reading is for, Freshton. When you make, I had a teacher tell me one time, when you assume, you make a butt out of you and me, you know. So we're gonna get that on the battlefield, so we tap that. We're going to end up passing and then drawing, and now we have the turn here. So we play the land. So now what we can do is win the game, basically. Because what we can do is 1, leave this over here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we can go Haunting Voyage, getting all of our elementals in our graveyard on the battlefield. So it's going to be 1, and we draw a card off of the beanstalk, which is a Soul Ring. So we'll get is that a permanent? Actually, we don't draw that. No, cast a spell. Yeah, we do get that card. So that'll happen. We'll get Tyrant of Discord. We'll get Ashling. We'll get Sunderflock. We'll get Foundation Breaker. We'll get Smoke Braider. And then we'll get the Rotten Mouth Viper on the battlefield. Bloom Tender is going to have to go to our hand. Let's say that, let me see. Red, green, blue. So this is 3. So I'm going to put 3 more lands back here because let's say we use the Bloom Tender to activate this. So Bloom Tender is going to go back to our hand again. And now, because of this, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elementals enter. So we're going to draw 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 cards go to our hand. And then, because champion is in play, that's going to trigger the champion. So our opponents are going to take 6 damage, 7 damage, 8 damage. 8 plus 5 is 13 damage, plus 2, 15, plus 7. Our opponents are going to take 22 damage. And then we're gonna order this way. We're gonna have Tyrant of Discord trigger first. So each opponent is gonna sacrifice a permanent at random, and then sacrifice it. So we'll get rid of sacrificing as much as we can sacrifice. Rotten Mouth Viper will then trigger, so they're gonna end up either losing life, sacrificing, or discarding a card. And then once that's done, I'll destroy things with the Foundation Breaker. And then I'll have them, everything that wasn't sacrificed will just go back to their hands with a Sunderflock. And then everything else occurs as normal. So then I could, which is the biggest power that I have here? 6 or 7? I mean, technically, personally, I would then go red mana and the Flamekin Village. Tap the red to tap the Flamekin Village, just so you guys see. I can pay a red to give creature haste. So the Rotten Mouth Viper triggers on attack. So I'll give the Viper haste, and then I'll attack here, which will give it another counter, which means that they're gonna have to either sacrifice 2 permanents, discard 2 cards, or lose 8 life. Which is, if they lost life before, it was 22, 26 damage to then 30, and so this is a potentially, if all the damage went through, this is a 34 damage turn, which this will also draw us a card off the Kindred Discovery. We draw into the Incubator, and I think you guys are, that's the deck. Devastating. That's devastating. And I think that's it. I mean, we can go to our next turn and then just draw. This says, when a creature leaves the battlefield, I could evoke the Aether Snipe, bringing the Champion of the Path back to my hand to then, it says that when this leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand, which means I'll return the Shimmer Creep back to my hand. And then I could go 4 to evoke, unless I can double it with the card here. Can I double it? No, I don't have enough planes. I gotta get more planes. Actually, no, I can't. No, I can't. This is only to cast elemental spells. I literally only have 1 card, 1 land that gives me planes. That's something to remember. And then we Shimmer Creep, right? They lose life equal to the amount of elementals we have in play. Which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will get sacrificed to come back, and then they'll lose 9 again, so they'll lose 18. And then we'd gain 18 life, and I think we did it, guys. I think obviously there's going to be some things we can take out and add, but for what I think we want this deck to do, I think it works really well. The Cavalier of Thorns felt kind of underwhelming, but it is a nice creature. But these 2 cards really really helped out. I think that that play where we reanimated all of the creatures from the graveyard feels amazing, and then maybe we just kind of lean into that, so that I think right now we have 2 cards in the deck that do this. Maybe we bring that up to 4, so we add 2 more cards that do something like that, and then just play around that, you know. But I'm satisfied. I feel like the deck played, I mean, when you're play testing into turns where you're dealing 40 damage, or almost 40 damage, it feels, I think you're doing something right, you know? So I think that's going to be it. I'm going to end up taking this and uploading the deck list onto a unlisted deck list on Moxfield, and then I'm going to take that deck list and then I'm going to upload it into the Patreon. That you need a free membership on the Patreon to get access to the deck list. And then, yeah, so the link to the Patreon will be in the description below. And I'll probably take this playtest, upload it as a separate video on the channel. And that way you guys can see you'll get access to the deck list from that video because I still gotta find some cards and tweak it, and then we'll have like a good first rough draft. And then if you maintain access to the free membership to the Patreon, you can just periodically, I'll update through the Patreon. I'll create posts that say that I updated a deck. That way, you can stay updated with what we're doing, because I have to go then play this deck against my friends, and that doesn't always mean that whatever happens here doesn't mean that's always it's gonna happen over there. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna get ready to watch the Super Bowl. Hope you guys have an amazing day. I always say the same things when I end these videos. Always remember, and thank you guys for being here. Always remember, eat healthy. Okay, I appreciate you, Freshen. Thank you, man. Eat healthy, work out every single day, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Most importantly, you guys can remember to believe in yourself, right? Yo, peace out, people.